Welcome to the podcast, Wait, What Do You Do Again? Where we talk to everyday people doing amazing things. I'm your host, Meghan DeFord. Let's go. Hi. Matt is back on the show and we had a Yap marathon. So this is part one and we talk about what our bagel shop would offer and Panera Bread of the old days, Kim Kardashian getting her law degree, AI and creativity, and a lot of things. But we yapped so long. This is part one and we're going to release part two this weekend. So I hope you enjoy. Bye. Hello? Matt?
Hi.
I can't see you.
Hold on. I need to figure this out. Hanging out.
Just waiting for you.
I know. I'm being such a Lulu.
No, you're not. I was looking up how to make lasagna in like individual muffin tins because I was thinking like it's easy to like layer like a cross of noodles, but then I guess if you do it in the tin, it won't like come out the sides.
Sounds very Rachel Ray.
You know me and Rachel Ray.
She used to do stuffing muffins
Oh, that sounds good,
in
actually.
a tin. You would make, whatever, however you do your stuffing.
Remember the like the trash bowl?
Oh, yes,
Like
Lord.
that was like a revolutionary thing. I saw Rachel Ray recently on TikTok and she's aged, like I actually didn't recognize her at first. And I went to the comments section and people were like, "Oh my
Really
God, she's
bad
aged
about
so
her.
much." And I
Yeah.
was like, "Yeah, she did." Like, it was so weird that that's what people were going there to say.
He looks like it's so interesting. It's something that we could talk about too. It's
Yeah,
just aging,
aging.
and how genetic, you didn't get blessed with good genetics.
Well,
Oh,
she looks fine. She just looks her age. Like, and I guess because
she's older than my mom.
I mean, I haven't seen her in years, like since her Food Network days and when I had cable and watched Food Network. But like, so not seeing her in forever, I guess it was like more surprising, but I wasn't like, oh my God, like, yeah, like it's been 20 years since I've seen her. Maybe
Okay.
not 20, but you know,
That's dramatic.
a significant amount of time has passed since
Since
I've
you've
seen
seen,
Miss Ray.
I mean, what a person making something out of nothing, though.
Yeah, what is her background? I mean, she went to culinary school. Like she was a person. She
I
wasn't
think she
like
went to culinary school. She
girl
never
on the
said
street.
she didn't go to culinary school.
She didn't.
No.
She has some story. Hold on, while you're doing that, I'm recording. So this is good podcasting stuff. Hold on. She does have a story of like I
I
think
think she's a home cook
her
or
mom
something.
was really poor, so like she grew up poor. Okay, she's 56 years old.
Yes, and she
Yeah, she
looked.
looks good. She looks like a
I
56-year-old
don't.
white woman.
I don't.
Um, let's see. Oh my God. One of the Google questions is what caused Rachel Ray's weight gain? Let's see here. I'm just trying to find out because she has an interesting story. Rachel Domenica Ray was born in Glen Falls, New York, the daughter of Elsa Providenza Scuderi and James Claude Ray. What a great name. Let's see here. Oh, this is what it was. She was like she went to New York, she had no money, and she didn't want her mom worrying about her. She didn't want to ask for money or whatever. And that's how she made these like homespun meals that would last. She worked at Macy's Marketplace candy counter. Then she moved back to the Adirondacks.
Do I look like a picnic table?
Do you look like a picnic table? Oh, hi. You're there. I was reading about our girl Rachel. No, you don't look like a picnic table. Your lighting's weird behind you.
Yeah, because it's the window.
To the window, to the wall. Um, how's it going? Happy Memorial Day weekend.
Indeed, Memorial Day weekend is here. It's marked
Indeed.
the beginning of summer.
Hmm.
It's 60 degrees in DC.
Lordy, no pool for you today.
This is my thin shirt. This is like a shirt that I haven't been able to really wear because the buttons were bustling a little bit, but
And it's fitting nicely. You like it?
getting better. And
That's
so I
great.
thought I would give it a whirl.
I love it. A
The
whirl and a twirl. Let's talk
neck is
about your fashion recently, Mr. Jones.
what about my fashion?
You have been posting fantastic pics. Talk me through your process. Like, do you lay out your clothes the night before? Tell me,
Oh
how are you
God,
mixing
no.
patterns and prints and looking so fabulous all the time?
Oh, I wish. No, I mean I don't even wish. I think that's extra. It's just I just have a knack for it, I think. What do I do? I um
Do you just wake up and like look in your closet?
basically, yeah. I mean, I've
Wow.
I've thoughts on what I'm gonna wear the next day, right?
Yeah.
So sometimes it's like I want to wear these shoes, so I need to
Hmm.
figure that out. Or it's like I want to wear this jacket. I've been really into like blazers and jackets and sport coats lately.
Any
Um,
reason why?
just being more grown up, you know what I mean?
Oh,
Like, it's just when we were together at Maryland, we used to dress up every day, right?
suits. Yeah.
Yeah, and so that was sort of like not knowing. I mean, we know ourselves more than we did then. I will say that we didn't know who. It's not like we didn't know who we were.
We were different. Yeah.
Different, right? And now I have more age under our belts. I feel like I know exactly what I want and what I want to look like and how I want to be perceived, especially in this new landscape where you don't. I can wear jeans and sneakers to work as long as it looks nice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You have this sort of like push pull of like, what am I going to wear to work every day? And so I like to mix it up. I don't want to look completely dressed down every day,
Yeah.
but so because I have the legacy of like 50 ties in my closet from the days when we did wear a tie every day or a bow tie or something like that. So
Yeah, you're a big bow tie guy, but it also depends on like what you're doing at work. You've been busy.
work's been busy. It's been bike month. May is bike month.
Talk to us. Talk to our listeners about Bike Month.
Bike month. Bike month.
Bicycles, right? Not motorbikes.
Bicycles,
Yeah.
correct. So if you don't live in a state that snows in May, May is bike month. I say that because when I was living in Colorado, June was bike month because
Yeah.
we get rid of this, no possibility of snow. Um, and so bike month is planned around bike to work day.
Hmm.
It's typically like the midpoint of the month, a lot like the second or third Friday. It's like always on the 15th around there um, of the month. So that's when we encourage, depending on where you live your city, county, MPO will encourage you to bike to work. There's all this programming around it. There's bike to work day pit stops in the morning where you'll ride your bike and get like breakfast. It's a big,
Ah.
it's cheery, it's very like, oh, happy bike to work day. And you like, all that stuff. So we had a DJ at our bike to work day pit stop. We had Call Your Mother Bagels, which is a
Mm.
big thing in DC. Um, we also, what else did we do?
Cream cheese?
Oh yeah, they cream.
Wow. Built it into the budget. That's
And
good.
people love Call Your Mother, but that's funny. But I really like miss the bagel place in College
Bagel
Park.
place. Did you
That was-
see there's a new space? There's something in there now.
Is it a bagel place?
No.
The bagels that
No, I forget
I
what it
don't
was. Anyway, back to Bike Month. Are these people who typically bike to work anyway, or do you see people who are like, oh, I'm gonna do it because
good question.
there's pit
Um,
stops and stuff?
Cycles tend to be white and male, which, I don't think that's shocking anyone. Like people who typically cycle routinely, like you bike once a month, once a week, or but I would like to change that, me being a transportation planner. I
Yeah,
really want to see more people out there cycling or getting out there, buy a bike, ride your trails, uh,
yeah,
ride in the bike lanes, if you have them. We have more cyclists out there. So one of the downstream effects of that is that our streets become safer. In that, someone may ask, like, what is that?
yeah.
Uh,
Why do streets become safer when there's more bicyclists?
well, there's more cyclists around. Cars have to slow down. Typically, they do, just their natural.
Not here. I feel like Lordy.
So cars slow down when there's people in the street, typically.
Right, but that's why
So,
like you'll see, is that why you see like trees in the middle of a street, like a two
yeah,
lane over a four-lane highway,
yeah,
like
and
to
and
get people to
also,
slow down?
yeah. Now we're gonna go
But we don't have to. I got sidetracked.
full
You know what?
transportation nerd, but yeah, I mean, the wider the street, think about it when you're in a house, right? Let's say
Yeah.
take a house. You have a big ass house, 5,000 square feet. You feel like, yay, I can do whatever I want here. You don't feel constrained.
Yeah.
You don't feel like anything. I can buy big ass furniture. I can do,
BAF.
think
Big ass
about,
furniture.
think about, you know what I mean? It's
Yeah, I
furniture
know. Yeah,
I've
yeah, yeah,
learned
yeah, yeah,
when you're in a more constrained space, you get to choose wisely what you put in a 500 square foot apartment or something like
yeah.
that. Same thing for streets.
It has to be
You
functional.
you have a massive street, like a road or highway, you're gonna zoom down that highway. You're gonna
Yeah,
go top speeds because the landscape is encouraging for that. You don't feel like you feel pretty safe going fast speeds, but you shrink your lane width, you shrink the street, you add in a bike lane, protected bike lane on it, you are going to go a lot slower because
yeah,
one, you don't feel as safe, you don't want to like hit another car, you don't
yeah,
want a person. So that's how that, and slower speeds always is better when it comes to safety
yeah, yeah,
for
for
everyone,
sure. For sure.
riders, drivers, cyclists, pedestrians, etc.
So Wonder Food Hall is going into Bagel Place.
Do we need another food hall?
We always need a food hall. We always
Because
need a
the
food
one,
hall.
this is so local now, but so College Park, the Whole Foods Plaza for the local Prince George's County people listening in,
Hyper specific.
very specific people. So there's a Whole Foods in Riverdale Park, adjacent to College Park, Maryland, and there's like a whole plaza. It's really nice. And there was a food hall there called Le Fantôme. I think it's called Fantôme or Fantôme. I think it's French. Yeah, it's French. And so that just closed. And so
What
now
was
this
that?
was a food hall.
Oh, sorry, 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 sorry.
That's okay.
Was it a French
And
food hall?
no, it just had a
Oh,
name. It was like
gotcha.
a lot of different cuisines. And so then this one's opening. Granted, it's closer to campus, so you have some of that student traffic, but interesting that a food
But
hall closes and one opens
it's
near.
also interesting. I wonder, I don't remember what the space was next to Bagel Place. Oh, it's like Chop It or whatever. Like there were a couple different things,
Was it
Blaze,
Blaze next to the pizza
Blaze.
place
But like Bagel Place itself isn't huge. I guess the kitchen part in the back was.
to create all those? That's what I mean. Like, what is the margins on flour and water for bagel? You know what I mean?
It's the rent, right? I
It
mean, it's
must be a profitable business to just sell bagels. Your overhead isn't outside of rent. What is it? Flour and water and salt
and staff.
and staff.
And then I think the hard thing too is like, they're probably up at what, 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning?
Sure. That's a given. But I'm just thinking like, why
That's a hidden cost to your quality of life.
I know, but if you make a great quality bagel,
Love a quality bagel.
oh my
They were
God,
so
there's
good,
nothing
dude.
like a quality bagel. And I haven't had one in a long time, wink.
What do you put on your bagel?
I love it. I we used to grow up eating the Linder's bagels
Hmm.
in the freezer section.
I like a lender's bagel.
Yes,
They're
they're not,
not bad.
no, they're not bad.
Okay. Wait,
80s,
did you get
90s.
plain? I was a cinnamon raisin girly
Cinnamon
for a long
raisin
time. Yeah.
bagel, yes. And they had two different kinds of the smooth one, and then there was a crusty line. And so this is the Linders growing up in the 80s, 90s. They still make Linders? They must, right?
I buy them. They're in the refrigerated
Oh,
section.
I
Yeah,
have to
they're
go get.
good.
See, I don't shop at a conventional grocery store, bougie.
Oh,
So I feel
she.
like she.
Beverly Hills, she.
She.
Okay, wait. So growing up, you would have cinnamon raisin. I would just do like butter and cinnamon raisin. That was
Butter.
it.
That's it.
Yeah.
The cream cheese is a depart. Like I don't understand. Like,
You're not a creamy guy though.
but yeah, but cream cheese is like weird to me.
You want slightly sour, thick dairy.
And
I love it. I'm in. I love
right,
it.
it's like a lot of cream. Plus,
I love
when
it.
you go to the any bagel store, I'm like light cream. I ask for like light cream cheese. Like it's a lot of cream
When
cheese,
it like squirts
and
out
it
the
gets
side.
messy. You're like, what am
Yeah.
I? I'm eating fat. Can we like?
So good.
So what I
So good.
do appreciate, I
Yeah.
what from Bagel Place, that lox schmear they have.
Oh,
Oh my
and
God.
the vegetable cream
Oh
cheese.
my,
So
oh,
good.
the raisin walnut cream cheese from,
Oh,
and then
it was a little too sweet for me. The strawberry was a little too sweet.
it was good.
But oh my God, that lox cream cheese and the vegetable and you put them
I know
together. Oh,
the everything bagel and the lox cream cheese.
yeah.
Oh, it was heaven.
So good. It was so
How did
good.
it close?
They're probably in retirement.
I've not seen another
It's not
like
as good. I've had really good bagels. None compares. And
even
their sandwiches were good
even
too.
our friend Molly from Buffalo was rave would everyone would rave about these
Oh,
bagels.
Molly from Buffalo. Molly
Well,
from Buffalo, if you're listening.
I know.
No,
Um,
everybody loved Bagel Place. It was great.
yeah, I mean, New Yorkers came down and ate the bagels. You know it's a good bagel when the tri-state
Solid.
folks are into it. Anyways,
The owners, I think they were brothers. I might have just made that up, but I think they were brothers. And I mean, they always looked like they were like really
they're
stressed.
outdone. What was the margins? I want to know like what were the margins there for them? Were they breaking even? Were they making money? Questions that
Mm.
need answers.
I should ask a bagel store around here. I'll ask second. No, the bagels here though are so freaking expensive. To
So
get like a bacon, egg, and cheese is like 10, 12
if I did a
bucks.
bagel place, I would specialize in a great bagel. I wouldn't do as many varieties. I
Okay,
feel
they
like
had a
that
lot
place, they had a lot
and
of
good muffins.
type of bagels. I wouldn't do anything. No, no muffins, just bagels.
Oh, what about a blueberry orange muffin just for me?
No, we gotta keep our menu focused.
Fine. Okay.
So bagels, plain, everything, cinnamon raisin,
Hmm.
sesame. Egg,
Mm-mm.
egg bagels are making everyone
Egg
loves
bagels are good.
bagels.
I don't like a
Egg.
sesame bagel.
I think for the fan faves,
Okay. All right.
sesame, and then like those are the five. You can add one or two more, but you gotta keep it
They can,
like
we can rotate bagel of the month.
bagel of the week. We're just our special. We're doing a fancy free one. And then do your assortment of cream cheeses and that. But then what you really want to focus on is the sandwich. Like create a good breakfast
Bagel.
bagel
Yeah.
sandwich.
Yeah. Bagel sandwich is good.
Need a good one. Like, like make it DC it up. When I say DC it up, it's like make it super obnoxious, like chorizo with the aioli. You could do something
Oh,
like
you're talking
that.
about margins, and now you're putting out chorizo and aioli and all of this. My
Duck
no,
egg,
no,
cheer,
it's some sort of
chorizo.
egg, cheese, and protein combo.
Oh yeah.
If we're well, we are saving on not making so many varieties, so I guess we can offer.
Yeah, and then like yeah. So, anyways, having a family bit, people love a family business idea, even
They
though
do.
some things is not a family business. They're just like parroting. I've seen that happen.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, bagels.
But do you like cream cheese with lox or do you like lox cream cheese?
I like both, but
I love like a schmear with
I
lox
like
and red onion.
I like a
Oh,
little no. I love smoked salmon. We're talking about what, right?
mhm, mhm.
I like smoked salmon by itself. I would eat it on a bagel, but then it gets like slippery in terms of like eating it.
Oh,
Like it
it
comes to
slips
your
right
head.
out of
It's like,
there.
it's on the table.
It's
Oh,
because you've got the cream cheese that
it's
also
too
comes
right.
out the side.
I think when it comes to as a whole,
Yeah,
outside of bagels, sandwich mechanics is a real thing
it's
that
a
we
huge
really
thing.
like. I hate when I eat bite into any type of sandwich, and it's like on my hand.
It like comes out the other
And
side.
it's
It's like,
like,
yeah,
okay, now I'm like messy and I don't know what to do. I've on a white shirt. Now
you
it's
got to keep it,
stained.
you got to keep it in the wrapper
Right.
and you got to have the right delivery
And a
mechanism.
right mouth to like,
You got to unhinge.
that's why
Um,
I do a lot of like things are one bite. I do one bite because I don't want to like, then like it
yeah.
dribbles.
Yeah, a sandwich is a private affair for me. I love a sandwich. I want to get down and dirty with it.
I don't
It's
like that.
delicious.
I like a sandwich that good mechanics. It's not going to be slippery.
I just went to a sandwich place here in Boca that's been open for like 23 years.
Yeah.
It's called The Best. If anybody in Boca is listening, delicious, amazing. They like roast their own meat, like turkey and stuff. And it looks like nothing, right? Like total mom and pop shop. And
Yeah.
when I got out of my car, I just like it smelled so good. But that was a messy sandwich. Delightfully messy, but yeah.
Back
And
here.
$10, which I was like, oh my God, where can you get a $10 sandwich?
So I have a story that's going to lead to the present
Is it
day.
about Quiznos?
Oh, I never liked Quiznos. We got a pepper bar. No, I was never into Quiznos. Those early aughts like Quiznos and Caltor and all that. I know. I saw a
Potbelly.
California tortilla the other day.
A
Pod.
California tortilla.
Oh, where was
Wow.
I? I forget where. Oh, I was in the bowels of LaFont Plaza working out. We can talk about my gym experience.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, there's a California tortilla down here. Anyways, okay, Sandra. I first was exposed to Panera Bread my sophomore year of college.
Okay.
Okay. And this is when Panera was sort of local, so not local, but smaller.
Yeah.
So the Tuscan chicken was my sandwich.
So good.
Oh,
Oh,
you
it
know the
was
Tuscan
so
chicken?
good.
Oh,
Yes.
what was it? It was like a rosemary onion focaccia with chicken. It was a type of aioli, lettuce,
It was like a roasted red
tomato.
pepper aioli, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was so yummy.
Oh,
And it was just so good. All the senses. It was tangy. It was a little bit of sweetness. It was savory.
yeah.
All the yums. Um, and I used to go there, and the Panera got really big and weird.
No,
But
it got taken
now
over by like
I
private
hate it.
equity.
Ugh,
And
no.
that's why it tastes like
It
hospital
tastes
food.
like craziness. It was always that, or I would get the Asian chicken sandwich salad.
Ooh, that I forgot about the Asian chicken salad. That was so
It had a
good.
light dressing, nothing too heavy.
Yeah.
The almonds, it was so yummy. Anyways, I used to get that forever, and I haven't really found a place that made a good sandwich that could always a good go-to. And there was one place. Where was I? There was this one sandwich that I had that uses a bacon jam.
Ooh, love a bacon jam.
A bacon jam on a chick. I don't know where that was, but
So good.
a lot of people do that. But the most recent place I found that has a good sandwich is Tate.
Oh yeah, they do.
Tate Bakery. You don't have them in Florida yet, but they're all
No.
over the Northeast. They're
Yep.
originated in Boston.
When I
And
was in Bethesda Row, I had it. It was
yeah,
delicious.
yeah. It's like I call it a more expensive au bon pain. If
A
the for
hundred percent.
no, you're just like, oh, this is what we're doing now. And so they have this great chicken BLT. They give a soft bread, they toast it so that it doesn't mess up the roof of your mouth. You bite into it. Good sandwich mechanics. You bite in. It's nothing's going anywhere.
Okay.
You know, it's so good. And they have good drinks, but you're gonna spend like
It's expensive. Yeah.
you're gonna walk out of there spending close to $20 on a sandwich, a drink, and maybe
Dude,
something else.
burgers now, at least down here, it's like $20
Oh,
for a burger. It's insane.
please. I
And I
just
hate to be this person. I feel like I sound like such a fuddy-duddy, but
no.
it's like 20 to 25 bucks for just a burger.
Right. And we make decent money.
I make a decent burger at home. Shit, for $25, I can feed my
Make food at
family.
home. Like that's
Ugh.
the thing too.
Well,
Like I
yeah.
went out like, yesterday. I had quite a trail moment. Yesterday was Saturday, so I went to where did I go? I had my first personal training session with my new gym trainer,
Mm.
which was fun. His name is Nate. He's great. And so then after that, it's Black Pride in DC.
Oh,
Uh,
happy Black Pride.
Happy Black Pride is always Memorial Day weekend. And so I went to a writers forum that these Black queer writers on a panel talking about, what the work they're doing on their process. It was really cool. Went to their vendor showcase it's like a convention slash weekend party. So I did
Cool.
that. Then I met up with a close friend. We've been friends since intern days back in like '04, '03, '04.
Wow.
And we went to this popular Filipino restaurant in DC called Purple Patch.
Mm.
And so it was tasty food. I had the lumpia,
Ooh,
which
yum.
is like an egg roll, like spring roll, but Filipino, done that way. I had these like pulled adobo chicken sliders, which were tasty. And then I had a dessert. They had this sort of Filipino bread pudding with
Ooh,
ube ice cream on top. And I had a mocktail. All that was $55 just for me.
that's not bad.
Okay, I was wondering. Okay, good. I was like, is this so? I had three things and I had
You
four
know,
things in a drink.
you know what's criminal is when mocktails cost almost as much, like a
I
dollar less
know.
than a cocktail. Like
Yeah,
cocktails are absurd anyway, but I'm like, excuse
yeah,
me.
yeah. I've been like quite on my kick. Like, I love the diversity of food and options we have,
Yeah.
in our cities and our like, especially DC and other places too.
DC is pretty darn good. I
But
mean,
sometimes I just want a soft serve vanilla cone,
mhm.
and then one of those cake cones, and you just like enjoy.
Oh, I like the harder ones. Not the ones that are like pale, but the like waffle ones, I think.
Waffle, the
Yeah, I
brown
like that.
sugar
Yeah.
cone. They'll call them sugar cones.
Oh, sugar cone. Yeah. Yeah, I know. I get that. It's something around here that I yearn for. Is
Sometimes
like
you just want meatloaf, you know?
it's like mom and pop. Like everything here is so elevated
Yes.
and produced
Yes.
And frankly, I don't think there's like, I think things are good. I don't think there's many great restaurants in this area. I think
Right.
you, but I just want something that's like real. And you
I
can find it. You can. It's just like few and far between.
like sometimes you just want meatloaf and like mashed potatoes.
You know who loves meatloaf? It's Ray. Ray loves a meatloaf. I should see if he can make me
Very
one.
Italian jersey of him.
Yeah, it is very Italian. Meatloaf is such a funny concept, though. It's like you put this in a
It is. My
loaf
friend Devin
pan.
says the same thing. It's like why like I remember in college, like, I make a good meatloaf. Like why do I want meat in a pan? Like that's just like baked that way.
Like, who came up with that?
You
Why do you
slice it
think that
like a little like a
started?
bread, and you're like, oh, it was a meatloaf. What is? Well, that's the thing. It's so funny because growing up in my household, like meatloaf was basically a turkey burger put in the oven in a log.
Okay. Yeah.
Because we would season it this very similarly, right? It wasn't a differentiation. Like
Yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
people make burgers, like beef burgers, they just take the beef and they put it in a pan, they cook it, and then you season it maybe or not. I've seen some people do this, and you put your toppings on it. I don't know how, but I feel like every time I've made a any type of burger, we season the meat
Yeah,
before
of
we add
course.
stuff to it. But I've seen other people not do that. So
Yeah.
then as I've been traversed, as I've left the nest and I've seen how other people eat and do things, I'm like, oh, is that the differentiation? Because I was like, all a meatloaf is a turkey burger that we used to make, but we put it in the oven in a
Yeah.
shape.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I don't like green peppers and my mom always used to make hamburgers with
Us,
like
Crystal,
green peppers and onions.
uh,
Ugh. I season my meat, but I don't usually put like other stuff in there.
yeah,
But that's a texture thing for me. I just don't like it.
we would do. My mom would put oats in her meatloaf
Oats.
as a replacement for bread.
Interesting. Huh.
You wouldn't know what's in there unless you like really looked.
Yeah.
But yeah, you should try that little hack a little bit. It's a healthier option to breadcrumbs, and it does the same thing.
Yeah, for sure.
A binding or
That
whatever,
makes sense. And
and
especially with turkey, you can't see it.
it adds more fiber.
Yeah. Oh, we all need more fiber.
I know.
How did you find your trainer?
Work actually.
Interesting.
He lives in the district in which I manage, and so I've been got friendly with he and his fiance, and
Hmm.
then I was like, hey, I see that you train people, or you're
Yeah.
so he's from Howard County-ish.
Oh,
From
where?
Laurel.
Oh, Laurel could be three
That's what
counties.
I said. I
Which
think
one are ya?
he said he dabbled in all of them, but he's from the same, he's from that part of Maryland. But his
Which
dad,
county is he from?
he didn't really
What
say.
high school did he go
I
to?
didn't ask. I just let it alone after.
Mm,
Sometimes you're like, okay, I'm done with this
yeah,
conversation.
yeah, yeah. When people are dodgy, you're like, oh, Prince
Okay,
George's
yeah, I
County.
don't want to get. You can't handle the truth. What is it?
Oh, Anne Arundel. That's
Uh,
so funny that Laurel is in three counties.
it's like Tacoma Park, Laurel,
Yeah.
Chevy Chase, these like dual like places that share these dual or tri
Yeah,
what's
Tacoma Park's a weird one too.
jurisdictions. You're like, what
Yeah.
side are you on?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Um, Interesting. Do you have a goal for training yet or just get stronger, like see what you
course, weight
decide?
loss. We want to get the weight off. I'm trying to lose my bum and my thighs. I mean, that's the biggest part of my body that really needs the most attention. I mean, all
Mhm.
of it, but like I feel like,
That's where you want to like focus.
like that's where I hold my weight is my bum and my thighs. So,
Yeah.
anything we can get that down.
It's
I've
so like it's so good you're working with someone who can show you the proper form. I feel like
yeah.
that's a big hurdle.
Yeah, because sometimes I think you can do it on your own and you can do it on your own,
Yeah.
but it's also great to have expertise explaining things like he was talking about yesterday we were doing like an assessment on my mobility. And that
Hmm.
sounds like what am I, cripple? And you're like,
No,
no,
no, no.
it's just seeing like what you can do,
Yeah.
right? So for example, like we did my mobility of my rotator cuff.
Rotator cuff. Yeah.
And like while it's good this way I can go down like this, but I can't move my arm back.
Like back. Yeah.
Like you can do your arm back, but
If
this is as far as my
can you
arm.
go all the way up?
I can go all the way
Oh
up.
yeah, good.
Yeah. He was saying, if you don't use it, things get sedentary
Yeah.
or age, so it's sort of, and that's the thing, like I think a lot of, I don't know, because we so stuck in our routines typically, our weekly or daily or whatever. And you don't realize that if you're in a daily routine that does it's not as active, like some of the stuff in your body that you really need to like function in other ways, you just goes away, or your body's like, oh, we're not investing in that anymore. So,
Yeah.
and then you'll like
Well,
get an injury.
and also look at us right now. We do this all week. We're sitting in front of
And
a
oh my
computer.
God.
And sometimes I'm in a chair that's good. Sometimes I'm on the couch. Sometimes I'm like,
Like if
sometimes I
you really
look like
want
a
to make
steamed
America
shrimp.
healthy again, if you really
Oh boy.
if we're really
Oh
if we're
boy.
really if we're really
Careful,
committed
careful with that
if we're
language.
really committed to making America healthy again,
hmm
we should talk about what the workplace is like. I don't know. The majority of Americans work in an office. Is that true? I don't
I
even
have
know.
no idea.
But if the majority of us are, if a large chunk of us are in, at least in different parts of the country, majority of people that are working DC are sitting on their butts all day. Like, why isn't our gym membership wrapped into compensation or part of our health insurance? Or why is a personal trainer, nutritionist a part of like, you know what I mean?
Don't even get
Like,
me started. I know.
I know, but these are, and then
Because regardless of whether you're sitting all day or think about what bodies go through for construction workers or if you have to
yeah,
stand all day and like check people out and cashiers and stuff like that.
right.
Like if we really wanted to be healthy, health insurance first of all would be universal, right? Like it is kind of crazy when you think about like, oh, health isn't a right. Like health is
I
health
mean,
is tied to your productivity, meaning your work.
you're
We
on your
talked about
own.
this. We talked about this years ago where I was like, why can't I add you to my health insurance or vice versa? Like that's so
Money, 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 money,
yeah, and
money,
also incentivizing marriage and all that kind of stuff. But
money, 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 money.
yeah, I mean, yes. Yes, there is a lot that we could do that would actually think about mental health.
But that's the thing I want them to uncover. Like they're saying a lot of stuff and not saying anything at all. Like, is there a conspiracy to keep Americans unhealthy so that the medical industrial complex can get paid for diabetes and high blood pressure and all of our bone issues? You know what I mean? Like, if you're healthier, you don't. There's not many people that need all that stuff, and then people aren't getting paid as much.
I guess my question is, I don't have an answer to
That's
that.
very
If
conspiracy
it
theory.
feels because like every time I'm like they, I'm like, oh, who's they? But what is it like in other countries? I think it's more about lobbying, right? I mean, I think it's
Yeah.
more about like pharma lobbying to have like the kind of advertisements that we have in the United States are not legal in Europe.
Right.
And so I mean, I don't know. I think we pay for it one way or another.
We sure do.
And I just think it's wild that we don't think health is a right for everybody. And I also think it's really interesting how there's this argument that I've heard over the years of like, well, you'd be like Canada, or oh, you're going to be like England, and you're going to have to wait 3 weeks to get seen. And I'm like,
That's
okay,
just the
so,
boogeyman in the
well,
corner
even if
that
it's
keeps going
true,
on.
it's like, well, why don't we learn from that and say, well, what is
How can we
causing that,
improve
and how do we
upon
make it
that?
better?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I think it's such a weird argument. But don't
Ugh.
worry, no fluoride in Florida's water, so
Really? They took it out?
we're on the road
Is
to
it really
health.
out? They took
Yeah,
it out?
they just signed it.
So dentists are going to be making a killing. Is this the dental lobby?
No, there's this whole thing about like fluoride in the water and
No,
you
I
know,
know,
it's
but
the
there's all
whole thing that
and people
people
say it's not healthy. I get it, but my thing is like if as teeth are getting worse because there's not the fluoride in the water, then who's making out on
yeah,
that?
but people are just gonna but it's the same thing. Who has dental insurance that covers everything that you need? Like people are just gonna lose teeth. They are. Don't laugh. Like people who need this voted against it, and then they're gonna lose teeth. Your
Oh,
teeth look good.
anyways,
Um,
class.
yeah. Yeah. Hey, you know what we were talking about the Kardashians, and I said we got to yap about this because you were telling me Kimmy K got her a law, or she can sit. Did she pass the bar? What's happening?
She grad How was framed in her ceremony of one. She graduated law school.
What does that mean?
Was she enrolled in a law school?
I th wasn't she doing a homeschooling program?
I don't just. I I guess they created a law school of one. Were there other students there? I don't know.
Well, it's like California has that program where I think if
You don't
you,
have to go to law
yeah, you
school.
don't have to go to law school, and I think you need like a sponsor
Right. And you go through the class motion. I don't know.
and like probably a certain amount of hours or what.
And you have to pass tests. So maybe she did pass the bar.
I don't know.
I don't know. It's just strange.
There's so that family is so
When I was saying the issue, like, I don't want to rain on anyone's parade. Congrats, Kim. You've accomplished this, etc. But I think one of the things about the higher industrial complex we often talk about
higher ed.
higher
Yeah, yeah,
ed.
yeah.
Like, in order to finish law school, like right now, there's a bachelor's you have to go to get your bachelor's degree, right? You then you have to go get it, take the LSAT, and then you have to apply to law school, get in, go for 3 years. Law school is not cheap,
Mm-mm.
overall. And then you graduate, you pass the bar, and you're practicing law school. But shining a light on that process, like, is that needed to practice law? Like more about that could be interesting. Could have been an interesting take for her. Maybe that's coming. I don't know from her people. But I just thought it was just like a missed opportunity to highlight, this is for you did it this way because you have access and resources to do that, as opposed to others who want to, she's doing law school for criminal justice reform, to
Hmm.
do this equity work. And by the way, equity is such a bad word nowadays. Um, and so that's all. That was my gripe about it. I was really in the moment when I talked to you about it, I was like, what is going on? This is so insane. Like,
I think the interesting thing is that, and again, I don't want to belittle the accomplishment,
right.
regardless of who it is, but she has access to anything she wants, anything, So to me, it doesn't seem like super impressive. It's like, yeah, you should be able to do it. I mean, like if you wanted to go to Stanford, you could have gone to Stanford. You know what I mean? Like she has access to everything. What would you say is like getting off of her? Because it truly doesn't matter. But like, do you feel like the process for law school is unreasonable?
I think it's unreasonable because
Or
it's
even
not
medical school
you
too?
have
Like,
set up. But I think like if we had a high demand for lawyers and we're trying to get lawyers through, what ways in this process can we tighten it up, right? Because I know do we have a 3-3 program at Maryland? I know some schools do that where you do 3 years of undergrad, you get automatic enrollment
yeah,
into the law
I think
school.
that was the nursing program.
Some schools have a 3-3
Yeah,
program,
yeah.
like things like that, you know what I mean? I think we should look at all of higher education to like see, like, is this needed? I mean, my grad program, I learned, this is not out of school talking. I learned the most in the field than sitting for 2 years in grad school. So what are we doing? You know what I mean?
I mean, I think that like the other part of this, which I know we wanted to talk about, but it's like critical thought. And it's about
That's
teaching
right.
you how to
True.
think and think critically.
True.
Um,
That's true. The analyzing, your analysis skills are so important. You do that. You do
yes.
that in education. But I think we should lead with that instead of sneaking it into a research methods class that no
Yeah,
one
I
likes.
agree. I agree. And I think the social aspect of it is huge as well. I mean, I don't think we should
Undergrad,
belittle
yeah.
that for undergrad. I think that for me, the challenge is like, well, for medical school, we need doctors. So not that you don't keep the curriculum difficult, not that you lower the standard, but I
Oh
think
yeah,
the
don't lower it.
pathway to get there is way too intense, and then it's
Very.
not equitable. Like if we want a more inclusive and diverse healthcare profession and law profession, right? Like the current pathways hold out a lot of people.
The fees to take these tests. It's like
It's
$100.
insane.
How much does it cost to take the SAT for your kid now?
He hasn't taken it yet, but it's a lot. I mean, it's a
It's like
lot.
$100, I think.
At least, yeah. Here, I'll look it up. But yeah, I mean, it's one of these things where, yeah, she did have that, but that's not why, Kim Kardashian only does what's good for Kim Kardashian.
Ooh,
So, I mean, that's her brand, right? SAT, according to a Google, is $60 for domestic students.
okay.
International students pay a $43 regional fee on top of that. How
Mm,
much is the Common app? How much is that up to? Do you know?
no. Mm-mm.
Huh. The platform itself is free to use, but every college charges. So you're looking at probably an average of $50 to $70 per college.
Hey, Google, what's the application fee for the University of Maryland?
I'm guessing 65.
$75, I think it's at.
Mm. Um, the thing though, like we were talking about this earlier this week, is AI. And as users of both of us use ChatGPT,
Yeah,
but there's all this consternation now of like AI killing critical thought, which I think is reasonable,
yeah.
right? Like I think that is a reasonable concern. Um, did you see the Chicago Sun-Times put out a summer book list?
You sent that to me, but I didn't read it.
Oh
Sorry.
my God. So they put out this summer book list and it had fake books and like, but some of the
Oh,
authors were
I didn't
real.
understand that. What was that? I
It
don't know.
like it was
Why did
created
they
by
do
like
that?
AI.
Oh,
And they got caught in doing it. Let me see here, summer
yes,
list.
AI books that are similar to mine.
So this is so funny. AI generated summer reading list. It got published in major newspapers, and it was something like only 5 of the 15 titles on the list are real.
My God,
Isn't that wild?
that
It
is
it's
wow.
really wild. And the fact
So,
that like it
was it
went out with no
intentionally
one
creating
noticing
fake
it.
books?
Huh?
It wasn't intentionally creating fake books?
I don't think so. Why would it? I think the prompt probably would have been like, I need a summer reading list of the most popular books for 2025 or something. That would be good for a beach read. I think a lot of it has to do with whatever the input is.
Okay,
Okay, what are you doing?
nothing.
You were distracted.
I was asked Chat GPT what books that are similar to mine
Oh,
for create a summer list, reading list.
oh, that's interesting. But this came up with us because and we could talk about your writing, like you put a chapter through and I disagreed with its critique.
Right,
And then what did we ask it? It was like, what is this based off of? Like,
right.
what is the critique based off of? And I think for me, with you as an artist, it's like it took the Matt Jones out of it. Like it took your specific voice and what makes the book so good and readable and enjoyable. That was the critique.
Yeah.
So what is it going to do? Not what is it going to do? How are humans going to use it in a way that like, is it just going to make everything mayonnaise? You know what I mean? Like,
I don't know about mayonnaise because I think it's smart. I don't say it's smart enough. I think it's nuanced enough to tell different voices. I like asking chat lots of different questions, right? In
mhm.
general, and understanding its take on different things. Not that it's the definitive take,
Oh yeah.
but it's sort of like, huh, you know what I mean? Like,
It's
oh, that's how you are perceiving this.
yeah. It's a useful tool. It's an interesting tool. For me, a lot of times it's a start or it's a check, but it's never like the end product.
No,
And sometimes I disagree with it. Like and it's interesting because your sister, like I'll send her little screenshots of conversations and she's like, your chat sounds totally different than my chat. And I was like, yeah, because it's like picking up my voice
right.
versus hers. And our author list was interesting. Like we
Hmm.
had a lot of the same authors, but it definitely knew you were black.
Yeah. Yeah.
So well, I was like, huh, that's really very interesting. But I wonder how, like, again, not to sound like an old person, but we're sort of that bridge generation.
Always have been in a way.
Totally. And I'm just curious about my kids. Not that I'm like worried about them using AI, but like how they're going to use it.
I think we have to start teaching AI in the curriculum. Like, okay, let's call a thing. This tool exists,
Hmm.
like a calculator exists.
Hmm.
How do we still, obviously, it's a more, even more sophisticated, a calculator times 10,000.
Hmm.
But how do we operate in this new world with this thing that can write an essay for you, right? You know, what's the appropriate thing? Like, you're only hurting yourself when you use this. That's why I look
Well,
at it. In terms of like having to perform when you don't have it, it's a crutch.
yeah,
You
of
know what I
course.
mean? So it's sort of saying, I think it'd be like, hey, this is how you can use it. I don't know what the correct
Right.
way, or like as a from the K through 12 perspective, or at least high school perspective, I should say, high school, college, and further higher education. This is the how you use it. Maybe it's like I like how ChatGPT is a companion for me and keeps like a reference for me, and I can ask it questions about my book or my characters, and it will sort of give me answers. Like I was like, do you think Khalil and Will's voice is distinct? And it went down the list explaining like why these two main characters have a very distinct voice in the novel, and which is good because sometimes you're sort of like it's like a check,
Yeah.
right? It's sort of like, oh, okay, so it's like it's out of its sometimes it's confirmation. Other times it's like, can you review what I just written here? Like I was funny. I was talking with my other friend Lamont, and we're talking about office emails, right? Because sometimes
Hmm.
office emails will like be like, oh, you're just there. Like, I need to write this very intense, and maybe not so intense, but you want to get the wording right. Like, this sounds correct. How does this sound? Let me just run it through here. And you're like,
Yeah.
oh, here it is. Like, quick hits. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right, right, right.
Like things that I don't need to spend a ton of time on, like in terms
Or
of
I
that.
want to get the tone right. Like
Right, get
this
the
sounds
tone
aggressive
right.
and I don't want it to be aggressive, or
Right.
usually
Yeah.
that's in my case. Yeah.
Right. And so those, I mean, right. I think that's a perfect example of how it's a great time, like it gives you more time to you. But if I'm gonna ask it to write, like I'm working on this massive like publication at work, am I gonna ask it to write the whole thing? No.
No.
Like, and I think that's something where we spend more time in using our skills that we were hired for to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think right now, right. So,
But I
but
also think it's interesting because like as we've gotten away from group work, like I was just thinking like if we shared an office, I'd be like, "Hey, can you listen to this email and tell me what you think?"
yeah,
And it's like replaced that. And so many of us are working remotely or on our own, or it's an open, environment where it's not like you're having those conversations necessarily.
right.
I think this whole idea of like, oh, some people are getting their degrees and just using ChatGPT. And I'm like, I think that's a bigger criticism of our higher
I,
education system than it is of chat.
but you can't write. Okay, this only works
Also, who are these kids? I feel like this is one of
if you're
those
doing
like
right.
fear-mongering
If
things.
you're a lab science kid, what is ChatGPT doing for you? You know what I mean? I got to run these experiments regardless of chat. I
Yeah.
think it's like if I'm doing a case study, well, that's a bad example. Things that are hands-on in the field, chat is not a good, you can't solely rely on it. Only when you're writing essays and there's prompts, things like that. On an
Yeah.
exam, there's no chat GPT. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, so I think there's checks as always,
For
because you
sure.
could, you could cheat always. You could cheat
Always.
always on your work. Someone else can write it for you.
Yeah.
Chat GPT wrote, you know what I mean? That's what we were at. But I
Yeah.
think,
I
anyways,
do worry about, I mean, I worry about a lot of it in theoretical ways. I think it's an incredible tool that can benefit us in many ways as well. But
right.
it almost reminds me of, and I haven't fleshed this idea out, but like of Instagram face. Like w women in particular, like all look the same now. Like there's this like these
Hmm.
Instagram models and like the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, like they all look, I can't keep them straight. They
What is the
all look
face?
alike.
Is it a Kim Kardashian face? What face?
Kind of, yeah. It's like that Instagram model phase. And I think because everybody likes those filters, right? And like it's that familiarity, and
It's like
then
plump
people want to look
lip,
like that,
thin
right?
nose. Yeah.
Which is a whole, we can go into that. That's a whole part of system of patriarchy. But like ChatGPT put that idea and that concept into ChatGPT,
Hmm.
and like if we're all getting the same validation and putting it in, and the language model is learning from the repeating similar ideas, where is that creativity?
Right.
So wait, let's talk about your book. Be sure to check in for Act 2, where we talk about Matt's book Do you know how it ends, or are you figuring it out as you write it?
Oh yeah, it's I know how it ends. It's great to sort of to be with these characters and develop them.
Yeah,
It's like I'm living with them.
yeah.
They definitely are real. They're real to me.
Amongst other things. Okay, bye. Thanks for listening to Wait, What Do You Do Again? For more information about today's guest, or if you'd like to be on the show, please visit megdeford.com. See you next time.